Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I am currently in the middle of doing my laundry. Yeah, that's what you want to hear an entire video about, right? What's that? You don't want to hear about me doing my laundry? Well, what a bunch of ungrateful jerks. But maybe instead you'd rather hear me talk about, I don't know, literally anything else. That is what you could do with by winning the mystery box game. Now, I know there's a number of you that already know what this is all about, but for those of you that don't, or for those of you who are new to the channel, what I typically do with the mystery box game is I will start with the Curious Relic Cube. I will carry it up to floor 3-1, whereupon it will drop 5 relics when I drop it from the inventory. I will, at that point, at 3-1 of course, drop it, and if you can guess 2 out of the 5 relics correctly, then you will get the honor, or however else you want to put that, honestly, of choosing a choosing the topic that I talk about for one of my upcoming videos. And it could be, I don't know, maybe you have a strange desire to hear me talk about, I don't know, something very, very modern and, current eventsy, like, the Ukraine war. Or maybe you have a desire to hear me talk about ice cream flavors for a little while. Whatever the case may be, it is up to you if you get 2 out of the 5 relics correct. And for what it's worth, the idea is that you are supposed to be making that decision as to which relics you want to guess before we get to the point where I drop it. Because if you're making those guesses afterwards, well, very clearly you just didn't put a lot of effort into it. But beyond that, it's also just plain goddamn cheating. You don't want to be seen as a cheater, do you? So make sure that your guesses are in before I drop the relic cube on floor 3-1, and then we go from there. Oh, and for what it's worth, no, I didn't really have any idea as to what to come into this run doing. Here we go, Frost Fan. There you go, we'll just do a lot of area control. How's that sound? As far as how things are going on my end of things, I have... Well, no, I don't want to do that because I want to be able to do status effects. I don't know, maybe I'll just do it as is. Actually, I would kind of like to have the melting pot, something just a little bit more defensive. I see you there, Death Scythe, but not just yet. Yeah, I don't want to sit here and do this all day. Oh, also, I just about forgot. Because I've gotten the same soundtrack choice 3 times in a row, I am going to change it over to the piano songs. Now, I take the retro floor plan a lot. I am actually thinking this time around, just because I do take the retro floor plan as frequently as I do, let's give it a break this time. We're going to try 1 or 2 more times for today. I'm sorry, I have a cough drop. Which, by the way, I was out of cough drops yesterday, so... feeling much more confident about things so long as I can help soothe my throat and control my cough. Alright. Go away. You have too much health. I don't like that. Oh, hey, so if it just so happens that Iris has the Bouncing Surge upgrade for sale, then we can make good use of Nocturne's gambling talents. Yes, thanks to... Sweet, that was absolutely pointless. Yes, thanks to having some extra time on my hands today, and very much just not wanting to go in a coughing fit when I go back to work, I decided that, yeah, I should go out and take care of that. There are many things there I wouldn't mind taking. And yeah, not a whole lot here that I want. Real shame too, because there are things I like, but anything water-based is going to be, not so effective. Alright, so let me grab this. Because that'll help later on. And do I take the Token of Health? Or the Wanderer's Mechanism? I'm kind of leaning towards Wanderer's Mechanism this time around. Hopefully I didn't just make a bad decision. By the way, for those of you who aren't aware, the Wanderer's Mechanism upgrades the damage of your signature spell by 20%, but it's not just when being signature cast. That's just a straight up 20% damage increase to whatever is in the signature Arcana spot. So just in case some of you didn't know that, there you go. Here we go. But yeah, now going back to the topic of the mystery box, when I say you get to decide for me what topic I talk about in one of my upcoming videos, I'm not necessarily saying, what game do you want me to play or whatever. I'm seriously asking, what topic do you want me to talk about? Because maybe there's something going on that you want to get my perspective on. And not that my perspective is the one that matters the most or anything. But, maybe it's just one of those things you're interested in gathering. Maybe there's something you're interested in gathering my perspective about that I haven't spoken about. Or maybe you just want me to talk about something that's just completely off the chain. Like the aforementioned ice cream flavors thing. I leave that part up to you. What? I'm not going to pretend to understand why that missed. And yeah, there are a lot of very serious topics that can and should probably be discussed at some point. But like I said, that part is entirely up to you. There's quite literally an entire world of topics we could talk about. Maybe for some reason you want my perspective on what it was like to have COVID-19. I don't know why you would want that, but if that's what you want me to talk about, that's what you get for winning the mystery box game. And that idea more or less came from the idea that what I was originally offering for winning the mystery box game, which, boy, she is just not offering anything helpful. Well, I mean, that Obsidian Cascade is good. See, I normally don't make a big deal out of upgrading the robe just for like a small damage boost, which is why I typically don't do it for the rule robe. But the additional run speed and the further adjustments to cooldowns, I think are worth it. Yeah, I'll grab that. Though, admittedly, I am kind of missing the influx of money I typically have for using the retro floor plan. There we go, and we got the Bounty Hunter seal to trigger, so we are pretty much set. I don't know, it's something. Now here's hoping that that Bounty Hunter seal, that you actually getting to use that, actually does something good for me. Well, I definitely know that Iris is selling the Bouncing Surge upgrade, thank goodness. Now we just gotta reach her. I forgot how much fun Water Prison is. Oh, I can upgrade both of my standards. Alright, well, let's wait for just a bit on upgrading those, because I want to see if there's anything I can use those standard Arcana for. Basically, I'm just waiting to see if Dr. Song is showing up, because I know that Nocturne isn't going to be showing up, because he showed up earlier. And no Nocturne. But do I have anything that I can give you? Not at the moment. Alright, so now we can go upgrade both of those, because they both get good upgrades. This is just a straight up damage upgrade to do that, and the spears bounce more and shock longer. There's no reason not to do that. Ow. That's what you get. There we go, much better. Admittedly, I am a little tired. Been running and doing errands all day. Some of them in preparation for going back to work tomorrow. And some of them just because they needed to get done. Like, you know, I needed to pick up one of my prescriptions, which is important for helping me manage my diabetes. And that was actually kind of the biggest chore of the day, because for whatever reason, I couldn't find it at any of the pharmacies near me. Funny story about that, I ended up just calling my nearby pharmacy again, and this time I just talk to the pharmacist and say, hey, do you have this in stock? And to my surprise, she came back and was like, yeah. Then why like, I get the feeling that someone was just continuously, like, pushing back the date on my prescription because... yeah. Because they just didn't want to that day, I guess. Which, for what it's worth, I completely understand just feeling lazy and unmotivated, but... I mean, not when it comes to dealing with someone else's medications. Come on, now. And I have another important medication coming up that I'm gonna need refilled, so... Here's hoping that that one isn't also a pain in the ass to get refilled. I guess I'll find out over the next day or two, though, because I'm going to be sending that one in for refill, and I guess, yeah, for those who are curious about what is the prescription of Darksage's what is the status on Darksage's prescription medications? Like, for whatever reason, that's just what I've chosen to talk about because I've literally had nothing going on the last few days. So, unfortunately, whereas we'd either have, well, that's another thing. I've also been kind of short on Dungeons and Dragons stories, too. Our group, however small it is, and you know what, that's fine, that's get it twisted, but we've not had any Dungeons & Dragons tales to share because we've been having a hard time getting together to hash out our game. Which, I mean, yeah, sensible. When you've tested positive for COVID-19, you would rather not infect your friends with it. Not for some... It's one thing if it's like, oh, someone's in need of emergency service and... you know, they're counting on me to provide. That's one thing. It's quite another to be like, I just want to have a good D&D game. Why don't y'all head on over? Like, that is selfish to a point that I think, yeah, at that point, people should be mad at you. That's almost like, you know, say you're a politician and you've made calls for sheltering in place, and then you go out and start hosting parties. I mean, who would possibly be that tone deaf? For those of you who are wondering, yes, that did happen. That example was not pulled out of thin air. Someone is actually that stupid. And lastly... Now, I forget which politician it was. All I know is that he's a right... is that he's a right-winger, so, I mean, immediately people are going, oh, well, of course, if it was a right-winger. That doesn't necessarily guarantee blatant stupidity and evil, but, I mean, it is a predeterminer for it. Let's not get it twisted. Ooh, as much as I like Flame Fusion, I think I'm going to hang on to my money. Yeah, there's nothing here I want. I'm about to fight the twins, so I don't necessarily even need the health, because I'm going to be getting one of these health crystals right here. That was super smart. That was also super smart. There we go. I love that skill. I'm just not sure I mean, it's a freebie, I'll take it. I'm just not sure I'm necessarily going to use it. Like, will it do more damage to Freya than stacking water prisons? I'm not actually 100% on that one. Alright, come on, brain. We gotta do this right here. Wow, the game really wants me to be using Tectonic Drill. Alright, what do we got over here? I mean, Tapping Glove is good. In case y'all were wondering, hey, Dark Sage, this is a mystery box episode, right? You haven't forgot about the mystery box, have you? Well, worry not, because I just remembered it. In other words, yeah, for a moment I did forget. How are you guys not dead yet? Yes, that is why I hate the Earth Knights. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and do this now. We got 5 relics, you get 5 guesses. If you get 2 out of the 5 guesses correct, that means you get to decide the topic of my next episode. Or rather, of the next one after it gets identified that you actually managed to do this. So, here we go. We drop the cube in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mystery box! Alright, so we've got Cabby's Cotton Candy, Mystic Monopole, Bracers of the Beast, Tracking Suit, and Token of Elegance, which is absolutely useless right now. So we'll definitely take that, grab that, and I'll grab that. Not that it's incredibly useful, but, you know, I get a little bit of resistance to water, so I guess that's one thing. There we go. I like it. I don't know. I think I'd be better off with something else. This would be better if I didn't have the Chaotic Rift. Like, that's the only time that Limo's Leaf is actually not good, is when you have Chaotic Rift. Otherwise, it's pretty much at least an A-tier relic. Like, just like the Breezy Gray Canvas, it's very much a pair of relics that have very similar effects. Alright, so is there anything worth picking up? I'm gonna say probably not. Sweet. I do often forget how useful Water Prison can be, so when I do find it and I go, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's, well, wait a minute. And the reason why I do that is because I can never fully remember how exactly it went the last time I was using it. But another thing that I need to remember is that unlike things that have the freeze effect, Water Prison can still work on water elemental enemies because what it's doing is unique. So whereas water elemental enemies can resist the water elemental status effect, i.e. freeze, there's not a whole lot they can do about being encased in a bubble. It does less damage. That's really about the biggest benefit they get. Hello, Airborne Slam. I think I'm okay without it, but it's nice to see it. Now, I will say, given my kind of recent interest in kind of looking more into the PvP side of things, which it's been brought up by it's been brought up mostly by, I want to say the name is Arcanus. I apologize if I'm dropping names when I shouldn't be. Yes, the interest is still there, I've just kind of not had time. Like, between busy work schedule and suddenly coming down with the thing, it's just not been a good time for me to start watching PvP matches and trying to offer my 2 cents on them. But as I had mentioned, with the recent interest therein, I can tell you that as much as I'm enjoying Water Prison right now, it would be near useless in PvP. And not the idea of what it does, it just fires a single projectile. Which, to be fair, yes, it is something that you can use multiple times, and if you hit someone with it, they're held still for quite a while, but that's also taking quite a bit of risk in your own hands there. Like, it isn't affecting enough of an area of effect, and you need to be kind of pinpoint accurate with it. So, whereas in just the usual versus enemy setting, it's great. I just don't think it's got what it takes to be good in PvP. And, you know, same thing for Bouncing Surge. Frostfan, I think, would be good. See? He doesn't get resistance to being encased in a bubble. Now, for what it's worth, I can see Water Prison working in PvP if you were to do something like, you know, take Water Prison as one of your Arcanas, and then for, like, your signature, you do Spark Array. And that might actually lead to a really nasty kind of infinite lockdown sort of scenario. Alright, well, we take that. We take that. We take that. I think I'm only going to buy one more relic because I don't want to drop too much on things and lose out on some of my armor here. Alright, but I am... See, I'm going to want to hold on to that. I'm going to hold on to that. Hold on, hold on, hold on. And hold on. Alright, so then... Oh, and I want to hold on to the helmet too. But I don't want to hold on to the Raspberry Cookie box. There we go. Yeah, that's looking pretty solid. You know what, that works. I know it's a little bit of a quiet one from me today. Hopefully you guys don't find that to be too much of an issue. I've just kind of not had a lot to say today. Ow, 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 ow. There we go. Alright. Feeling better now. And no thanks. I'd say between the Melting Pot and the Helmet of Midas, we've got plenty of defense. Offense is looking pretty solid. So an interesting question about the Curious Relic Cube, and one that I for some reason hadn't thought about much myself. Is the Curious Relic Cube something that's there almost strictly for like Twitch streamers? Because it's one of those things that I almost never see in the shop during a run. It's almost strictly there just for you to pick up and be like, hey, fun time gambling. So, is that about right? Is that something that was developed almost strictly for, like, people, like, playing the game live, like, with their friends and whatnot? Or was there a different design space in mind when they were talking about that one? I don't have answers, but maybe someone else does. There we go. No, I'm not just waiting for Water Prison to be fully off of cooldown. What are you talking about? Owie. Wow, I just suck. Actually, I think what happened is I just got too greedy there. Oh, no, that wasn't good. Like, that really wasn't good. There. Whew. Okay, that was close. But that's the whole point of the Venture Robe. You're taking a risk and going in with less health than usual, and banking on movement speed, damage, and cooldown being enough to save your ass. So it's like the old saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Alright, so hopefully you guys remember the 5 relics that dropped from the Curious Relic Cube. If not, you can always go back to the timestamp to figure out what they are. And yeah, I suppose that means I've got to put a timestamp somewhere in the video now, or in the description, but oh well. This is the price I pay. Also, I just realized that Iris never actually upgraded my basic. That is absolutely crazy. Anyway, I need to go check on my laundry and maybe get myself a bowl of ice cream and then relax for the rest of the night. It's going to be interesting going back to work after having so many days off thanks to the thing, but you know, I'm not going to lie, there's a part of me that's actually going to be happy to get back to my routine. But that's enough. I'm starting to ramble, so thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate you for coming and spending some of your free time with me. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you